Hello and welcome back to A Life Redesigned. I am Lynette LaRoche. Now, in my last video, I shared with you about that quiet, disorienting moment when you realize that the life you're living doesn't feel like yours anymore. Now, if you felt that, I want you to know something. You are not alone, and you are not broken. Now, let me repeat that. You are not broken. Now, today I want to talk about what I now know about living a life that isn't yours. How do we get there? And what does it actually mean? Now, we don't wake up one day and decide to live someone else's life. It happens gradually. Many times, as women, we're often handed a blueprint early on in our lives. Stop dreaming, get realistic, and you're given this blueprint. And the blueprint is built on expectations. Be the good daughter, the supportive partner, the dedicated mother, the successful professional, the community beacon. And there's also some sprinkle of put everyone else first, deprioritize your own desires, and probably even deprioritizing your well being. But then, what is the trade off? When we adhere to this blueprint that has been handed over to us, we trade our own desires for approval, for safety, and a feeling of doing it right. Because let's face it, so many of us want to belong and to be accepted by others. So then we start living our lives based on what we should do and not what we want to do. Have you experienced this? Have you felt that way? Because I know I have. But then what happens? We become master builders of lives that look beautiful on the outside, but feel hollow on the inside. And then what happens? We get tired. We are tired from ticking off all the boxes that's in that blueprint. You got the degree, you got the job, you got the house, you got the family, you got the beautiful vacations to amazing places around the world. And in my case, I had the custom built cars. And then the last box that you tick off is you arrived. You arrived based on the blueprint. But is it your true arrival? Now, you've ticked off all of those boxes. You followed the blueprint, the design, just strictly. But then you find yourself that you don't feel fulfilled. It's like that feeling of fulfillment, it just never came. Or it came so fast you missed it. And then you find yourself standing in the middle of your perfect life, wondering, is this it? Now, I don't want to fall into the adage that this is a midlife crisis. No, it's not a midlife crisis. It's an evolution. You haven't failed. You've just simply outgrown the container, the blueprint that you built for yourself based on someone else's design. Now let that sink in. You didn't fail. You're not a failure. You just outgrown the blueprint that was outlined for you, that you stuck to religiously. Now, because you have followed this blueprint to the letter, what is the cost? What is the physical and emotional toll of living out of alignment with your own desires, to the person that you truly are, to what you thought that your life would be when you were 5 or 9 or 12? It's so exhausting. And then sometimes you can have resentment, and then when we get to this stage in our life, because we have followed this blueprint that had all the trappings of societal expectations, of our cultural expectations, of our familial expectation, then you start feeling being invisible in your own life. Like, what happened to you? What happened to me? And we get here at this beautiful place in our lives, but we don't see it, because now we start feeling fear. We done everything right. We followed the blueprint. Yet now when we look at our lives and it doesn't belong to us, it's terrifying to look at a life that you spent decades building and admit it doesn't fit. All that work you put into building this life, that if you were following it, you were successful. If you followed it, you were part of the solution. If you followed it, you did what you were told, you conformed. But now you have to admit to yourself that that life that you built, it doesn't fit. And you might feel that that's being ungrateful, because yeah, maybe there are those whose life fell apart, but if your life was still looking perfect from the outside view, it may feel ungrateful to now say, "Ah, this life that I've been living, it's not mine. It doesn't fit who I know I truly am." And it could feel risky to admit that. But what I now know is that the cost of staying in a life that isn't yours is far greater than the risk of changing it. Because the cost of staying in this life that you built based on someone else's blueprint is the cost of your vitality, your joy, your very self. It's the cost of living this life where you're so alive and you get to choose what you want to put in this life of yours, which is why I call it life architecture, because you get to decide what the different rooms in your life should look like. But the fact that you now realize that this life is not fitting you anymore, acknowledgement is the first step. Now, it doesn't mean that you go run off and and you change everything today, you burn it down. No, not at all. You don't need a 10-step plan right now. Right now, what is needed is naming it. Because that is the most powerful thing that you can do right now. Is simply name the truth. Just say it to yourself. This life doesn't fit me anymore. Repeat. This life doesn't fit me anymore. One more time. This life doesn't fit me anymore. And in my case, I said it, but then sometimes I kept wanting to go back and get it, to continue it. But then I became even more disconnected until I let go. And then I really owned that that truth that this is not my life anymore. So when you stop fighting that truth, you create space. Create space for something new to emerge. And maybe it's not completely new. It could be something that was just deep inside of you that you had to put off to the side because you were following that blueprint and you wanted to be the good girl. And so you did as you were told. So it could be something revisiting something that you always thought that you would have in your life, and it could be something new. So, in the coming videos, we're going to explore why we say we stay too long and how we begin to shift. But for today, just let yourself feel the truth of where you are right now. And if this has resonated with you, please like this video. Share it with a woman in your life who might be feeling the same quiet disorientation. Share this video with someone, a woman who has been struggling with this life that she feels that she doesn't know where it's going anymore. And after you share, please subscribe so that we can walk this path together and have more of these conversations. So, I'm Lynette, and I'll see you in our next salon conversation.